Allow your visitors to honk when they get there? Shame for you. We have a triplex rented out to a couple families across the street, and some construction workers. It's frigging Grand Central Station each morning and night. Cars pull up, people get in and out. Horns and honked each, and, every, damn time. I think they use that address as a local drop-off, pick-up point. I've asked, I've yelled, I've called the city. Nothing worked. Today I was off work this afternoon and was sitting on my porch when the vans started coming by. I grabbed my car keys and every time someone honked, I'd set off the panic on my car alarm. I'd run out and make a big scene about how they must have hit my car to set off the alarm. It doesn't give off by itself. I would take pictures of both vehicles, license plate and driver too, and inspect my car for damage. I'd grumble back to the porch, muttering, if it drives funny, I'm taking it to my mechanic and filing an insurance claim tomorrow, and wait for the next honking back exit. Surprisingly, word must have gotten around, only 2 vans honked, and everyone else would go and knock on the door. So here I sit, giddy, feeling like I actually accomplished some great. Kinda wish another car would honk. Don't insult the catering staff, especially during your wedding. So before I get to the story, I like to clarify. 1. This is not my story, but my neighbor's. He doesn't use social media sites such as Reddit, but he did give me permission to share his story here. 2. This story took place a couple of years ago, so my neighbor might have left out some things that he may have forgotten. Now on to the story. Back in late 2019, my neighbor, let's call him Tim, attended his best friend's wedding, the groomzilla of this story. From what Tim told me, him and groomzilla had been friends since middle school, somewhat relevant for later. Tim was one of the groomsmen for groomzilla's wedding because they're friends. Fast forward to the wedding reception, and all is going well. Tim walks over to the bar to get a drink, for context the bar close to where the catering staff was serving food, when, out of nowhere, there was an argument where the catering staff were. Sure enough, groomzilla was being verbally abusive towards one of the caterers. The argument, from what Tim was able to understand, was over some food dish that the catering staff stopped serving because they ran out of a certain meat. This was 2 hours into the reception. The guy in charge of the catering stands between groomzilla and the person groomzilla was berating. The guy in charge tells groomzilla to stop berating his staff since they have other food they can serve as a plan B. But groomzilla didn't like that answer, to which he responds, "It's not my fault you blank, if you're Latino, you know," the slur he blurted out, "can't do things right. Just serve food like I hired you to do." Turns out, the person groomzilla was berating was Latino. Fast forward about 20 minutes, and Tim witnesses the catering stop what they were doing and began putting the food into metal containers and begin loading it onto one of the vans that belonged to the catering staff. And the propane grills that they were using were being loaded onto a truck that one of the staff brought. Sure enough, word reaches groomzilla and he makes another scene. Since it took place outside, almost everyone didn't notice except Tim and the security guard. Groomzilla threatened legal action for breach of contract, but the guy in charge of catering countered the threat by threatening to call the cops on groomzilla for racially abusing one of his staff members, and that he has witnesses including the catering staff, who saw everything, and Tim, who just happened to be nearby. From what Tim told me, that got groomzilla to shut up and walk back into the venue. After the wedding, Tim told groomzilla that what he did was horrible. But groomzilla tried to convince Tim that he did nothing wrong, but before he could continue, Tim stopped him and told that the friendship between the two of them was now over since he still couldn't see the bigger picture of what he just did. So moral of the story, don't be a racist, egocentric bum face. Birthday party face painter. I was browsing one of those coupon websites, think Groupon etc., and came across a face painter deal. My daughter's birthday was coming up, so I quickly read through the fine print before paying. I immediately contacted the lady and gave her 6 dates to check if she was available. She said no to every single one. She then said she was only available on weekdays, even though that wasn't in the fine print. I said okay, and gave her more dates to choose from. Again, she was busy on all of them. So I asked her to just give me a date and I'd make it work. We get to the day of the party and guess who doesn't show up? She messaged me back after the party and says she couldn't make it, no reason given, and she wouldn't be refunding the money. I contacted the coupon place and they got the money back. It still sucked that we didn't have a face painter at the party, but the kids had fun anyway. Q Revenge. I created a fake FB profile with her phone number, and posted face painting party giveaways on different local mums pages for about 6 months until she changed her number. Share your story in the comments, I would love to add them to a video.